Aloha and welcome to Java. Thank you for joining me. This is for Monday. It's June 17th, 2024. Got a few things to look forward to today, but for the most part, kind of a quiet day. We've got a holiday on Wednesday, so let's go into it. We are looking at our main risk indicators have been relatively stable. They're in high risk territory, however, they are heading back towards the fear grade level, which is a more important emotion in the market, so it can move much more rapidly, especially if any volume comes into this. So we'll be watching this fear grade level. Right now, we're watching sentiment this morning. We had the Asian markets were down a bit. So United States markets are opening mixed, a little bit weak on the open. We're not getting a lot of reports, so I'll be watching for an inflow of volume. That would increase the trades. Otherwise, it should be relatively steady. And if that does not happen, then I'm just sitting on the sidelines. There's nothing wrong with sitting out on a trading day, or at least waiting until it presents what it wants to do for today. There's quite a bit that could happen today. So with this, we're looking at the relative strength of the dollar and the 10-year yield both rising. So when these both rise, they're putting a bit of pressure on the stock market. So we're watching that for the most part level at the moment, but we are watching a rise in the volatility index, and we spoke about that. So gold and oil also under pressure right now, as well as the futures. So with oil, we're looking at a lower demand is what they're expecting. We've also got cryptocurrencies have dropped a bit. Now we've got Bitcoin at the 65.7 level. We've got a lower level. It could hit down to 62. If it does, that's good news as far as buying. Because I've got a severe low, it'd be 58. I'll be purchasing quite a bit more if that happens. But there's going to be a lot of other mess happening in other areas if it does. So going forward with the kind of the overall behind this, what is affecting this? We've got Japanese shares dropped in the broad sell-off, and this is on a lot of basically their currency. They're looking at strengthening their currency by lowering their balance sheet off of their bonds. So in the United States, we've got bond yields edging higher. That's the 10-year we're watching. Kashkari is saying, this Fed president, that we're looking at a rate cut in the federal funds rate in December. So if that happens, boost for the market if they say that we're going to cut. I don't think we're going to for a bit, going to hold off at least until September. So we had some other news come out. We've got a senator from Utah. It has introduced a bill to abolish the Federal Reserve. So think that's very interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. You know, I'm not a very large fan of the Federal Reserve. So let's go into our calendar and earnings. As I said, Monday, these are all relatively smaller things happening. A couple of bond auctions, but smaller ones. We've got Fed Harker and Cook speaking today. Those are probably the largest market movers, other than things we don't expect. We're getting numbers out, earnings for Lennar, which is a home builder, and then also a couple of these things happening prior to the market open on Tuesday. So as I was speaking about, oil prices have dropped back on expected and weaker US consumer demand, and then also because China is producing more, and we've also got more coming out of the Middle East, so that is dropping the price, at least temporarily. So we've got currencies, and this is global currencies consolidating as the dollar is steadying. So we've got the euro is near a 1 month low. That's because the recent rate cuts that just happened. So that weakens the currencies. So we've got Christine Lagarde saying European Central Bank watching the markets after the French turbulence. So with these snap elections, all of the political headwinds that they're causing, these problems in the market, a lot of it is basically distraction because they're going to keep the powers as they would be. So with this, let's go forward. We've got to take a quick look at what is actually going on. We've got a large imbalance in the economy of haves and have-nots. We've been speaking about this, moving to a two-tier society, basically quelching out the middle class completely. So this is in regards to how you should change your investment practices. But if you're not in that top moving up, you need to take some immediate moves. If you're in the lower class, trying to get a hold on either cutting your expenses or trying to build your assets. And while it's good to have at least a couple of months reserves in cash if you can, you need to start stacking real assets, because if this inflation happens, the dollar could become completely worthless. So who's hiring still? We've got global defense groups hiring at the fastest rate in decades. Well, we've got all of this war going on, and it's going to continue. They're talking about peace summits and peace talks, but these are not going to amount to anything. So they want to continue with this industrial war complex. That's where the bulk of the spending and the jobs will be. The other side of that that will be continuing is artificial intelligence. So I've got a data center here. So this happens to be with Bitcoin mining, but also all of the artificial intelligence data centers, all of that information that they want has to be housed and dealt with. So if you can go into that section or the picks and mining shovels of that area, you're in good shape. So something else I wanted to bring up. This person right here, this is Houlihan. And basically, they just passed the defense bill automatically registering men 18 to 26 years of age for the draft. This is in the United States of America. So while they're ramping up all of this defense spending, whatnot, they're imposing this automatic draft kind of as quietly as they possibly can in the background. So, as I said, this is going to be the building sector of this. If you want to basically think about having your children not get into this or not go into this yourself, it would be good to get in a sector that is supporting, which will be considered critical jobs. And that's one of these two. Go into a different sector so you can't get sent to the front lines for this war for other nations, or the artificial intelligence data storage cryptocurrencies. They are coming. So moving forward with this, we've got a couple of other kind of interesting things that could move in a positive direction. So in the front, I had round or pointy. That I'm kind of joking, but this is in relation to the Pentagon now, tapping SpaceX and Blue Origin for $5.6 billion in security satellites. So they need to get these payloads and get these satellites out into the air. And so they are spending all of this tax dollars, large amount of money, to get this space war going, to get all of these satellites up in orbit. So another back end, as I was saying, the picks and shovels, we've got energy. It's going to be a huge energy draw and a large call for this in the future, either making it more efficient or in the production itself. And so there's this story came out the other day, but it's Bill Gates, none other than himself, building 345 megawatt natrium nuclear reactor in the center of the United States. I believe this is in Wyoming, and it's scheduled to be completed 2030. So it's a nuclear reactor, but instead of using water, they're using sodium to keep it cold, compressing. So it's basically more efficient. So with this, just want to remind you, we're moving forward in both the energy sector. Even though oil is dropping right now, everything that is moving forward with this technology is increasing with that. And to make you aware of what we're seeing coming very closely here, it's going to be more war. And I want you all to be prepared. So with this, we've got a relatively calm day, relatively calm markets at the moment. Use the time to prepare, if you would, please. I've got my little friend cow here that would like to remind you, become self-sufficient if you can. Start stacking real assets, including silver, gold. food, storage, ammo, anything else that you will need during these times. So with this, I wish you all, my friends, a wonderful day. And until I see you again, stay free.